Hey there, my name's Ash. I'm going to help you out with your new RV today. Congratulations on this beautiful new Montana fifth wheel. I'm going to show you the basics of how it operates and so you can get some good enjoyment out of it. First thing you want to do when you get to the campground is you want to get your unit level. Best way to do that while we're still connected to our truck, put a level or an app on your phone on the floor just inside the front door. Get an idea. I know here we're tipping a little bit towards myself. So I would use a longer version of this board. Put it down in front of your tires. Use our truck. Pull it up onto the board. That will lift the trailer up, giving us a basic level. After that, this particular trailer that you have has a auto level system. So from there, we're going to want to use a pad. Put it under the two rear legs. Then we're going to walk around to the front of the unit. First thing you want to do is hit the wake up button, so the on. Turns on, you'll notice it says ready, jacks down, which is at the front. We have now removed your truck from the front of the trailer. From there, we also have indicated that we're still a little bit off kilter, rear and to the back and to the side. From there, we are going to press the auto level, again making sure your truck is completely out of the way. And this is before you've put your slides out, anything else. So we hit the auto level button. And we want to get out of the way and let it do its thing. This can take up to a minute or two. There you can see the computer is doing a little bit of figuring. It's analyzing the different positions, and it's going to decide which leg to put down where and get the unit level for you.
There you go, auto level success.
We'll go in the front, look at your battery. So in your particular unit, your battery is stored in this front cubby. Inside, you will see a 12 volt 24 series deep cycle battery. There's two caps there that need to be removed periodically to top up your water level. You must use distilled water. And I would check that every 2-3 months at first until you start seeing a pattern of how much water you're going through. In this cubby, and the same on the other side, you will see your propane tanks. You have a regulator tank, a 30-pound tank on each side. We recommend that you run one tank at a time, but when you first get your unit set up, you'll want to open both tanks slowly, turning counterclockwise to equalize the pressure. Then we want to lock off one tank and leave the other tank open to use, and that way when it runs out, you know that it's empty. There is an indicator lever up here right near my finger. It's hard to see in the video, that you can use to set to remind you which tank you're using. From there, it's very straightforward. When the one tank is empty, close it off, open up the other tank, and you can continue on with using your propane. In here we have your water area. This particular trailer has quite a nice setup for the water. You've got a city water connection here, which also allows you to fill your internal water tank as well as running on pressurized water. I understand you're going to be a liveaboard on this one, so you'll be using the pressurized water all the time. You'll want to use a 90-degree fitting on here to run the hose straight down out the hole in the bottom. On the other end of your hose, you're going to want to use a water pressure regulator so you don't overwhelm the fittings inside your trailer. And you're going to want to use a good quality potable water hose. The levers here are set in the position right now to use the trailer. They're pretty obvious. If you want to winterize, you can change these levers into a different position so that it will take the water and run it through the system to put the antifreeze in for your winterizing system. Below that, we have our low point drains, red and blue. That does all your water in your trailer except the hot water tank. You would want to open valves inside the trailer so that you can let air in. Open these, it allows a low point, so it allows all the water to drain out of the lines in your trailer. over to my right here, you see your electrical 12-volt disconnect switch. You probably won't ever use this, but the only time that would be used would be if you needed to remove the battery for some reason. Other than that, or if you wanted to put the unit into storage, you went away for a month. Above it, you see all your cable connections and satellite connections for TV use. Down below here, we see handles for black and gray tank. And over here, we see the primary connection for your black and gray tanks. Another handle, and up underneath under here, there is another gray handle as well. When you're dumping, you're going to want to take the cap off. Little pins there. You've got hooks on your hose. This is the hose that comes with your unit. They're going to connect onto here. The hose will be extended out into the ground. You would always want to dump your black tank first. In this case, you have two, one here, one there. Empty those, close them off. Then you would want to dump your gray. You have a gray underneath here and a gray in the cabinet. That's also going to help to clean out your hose a little bit for you. After that, you do have a black flush capability with your trailer where you can hook a hose up to here and run water into your black tank to help clean it out a little bit. You may want to cycle that through every couple of times that you dump so that you can give the tank a little extra cleaning. Each time you dump your tank, you're going to want to put a couple extra gallons of water to get you started. And then that's when you would want to add about 4 ounces of a good quality RV holding tank chemical, something that's going to break down the solids and give you a good deodorizing capability. I also recommend that you always use a RV toilet paper, not a regular consumer toilet paper, because that's going to gum up the system a lot more so than this stuff will. From there, we have our hot water tank. Hot water tank is a Atwood hot water tank, so it means it has an aluminum tank. And down below here, you see a little plastic plug. This is where you would drain the tank if you ever needed to, or to winterize it. If you were going to do that, you would release the pressure first, then you would use a wrench, take that off, let all the water out of the tank drain. Something you might do if you went away down to Palm Springs in the wintertime, leaving your trailer up here where it's cold. Starting this is done from the inside. We'll show you the switches in a little bit. Your slide here, we've got one of them put out for you so you can see. You've got a rubber seal down the side. That is going to sweep basically most of the water clean when the slide goes back in. It's a good idea to treat this a couple of times a year. You buy a nice slide treatment spray that you spray on. It's kind of like armor rolling your tires. It's a great way to keep it nice and clean, nice and supple, so they do their job. You have toppers on yours, which are great. That's going to aid in keeping the slide clean and things off the top. But the wind will still push things in there. So before you ever put the slide in, it's a good idea to check it. You know, get a broom, push things out. The wind might have blown in there. Beside here, we have our fridge vents. Intake, exhaust, cold air in, warm air out as your fridge is being functioning. You might want to open it once or twice a year so that you can make sure nobody's building a nest in there. The furnace outlet is here. This will get quite warm when the furnace is running. We can show you how this furnace functions on the inside of the unit. It is running off propane and 12 volts, so it functions whether you have 110 power or not, which is kind of nice. But power failure, you can still stay warm in the wintertime. So it's a good thing to have. Your shore power cord, which is in your front cubby, will push in, twist to lock, and then your other end is going to go into the service at your campsite or in your place at your home. Carrying on around, you do have a ladder to get up onto the top of your unit. It's a good idea to get up there periodically so that you can sweep debris and keep it clean. Make sure you look for any issues that may be up on top of your trailer. While we're talking about getting up on top of the trailer, it's a good time to talk about seals on your unit. You do want to check your seals periodically. You've got seals everywhere that there is a joint, so anything that penetrates the hull. So you're going to want to check those every 6 months. You're going to look at them, you're going to feel them, looking for things that are coming apart, maybe a bit of pressure in places so that you can see if things are separating or cracking. And from there, it's a good idea to take some photos so you can use those as a reference point for next time you check seals on your trailer. It's a good idea to do that is going to save you a lot of money in the long term to maintain your seals as opposed to waiting until they fail. Your other cubby is right here, and you see your primary power cord right here that we talked about at the back, and there's your pins that line up with your twist lock like we talked about at the back. Lots of room for you guys in there. You've got some power there for the outside of the trailer for when you're on shore power. Putting your stairs down simply is unfolding. You'll find the button for the awning located in our control panel just inside the door. Alright, awning is extended. You do have the ability to angle your awning so that you can direct rain to one side or the other. Making sure that this is loose. You grab at the elbow. I'm a short guy, so it's really hard for me. Pull it down to the point that you want. Shows you some angle. Lock off the knob. So you can now direct the rain whichever direction that you want. You may prefer to do it the other way, away from your door. This gives you a lot better chance of keeping your awning out during a rainy day, because the awning does have some structural integrity that you have to be careful of, that you don't get too much water build up on top. And of course, remembering to put it away on a windy day. And I would not recommend leaving it out when you're not at home. Putting it away is the complete opposite. You're going to loosen, let it go back up to its limit, go back inside and use the button. And it will stop when it's ready to stop. You hold the button the whole time. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing but with your slide at the side of the unit. Again, holding the button until the slide is completely out. Now I'm putting the slide out in your bedroom. And the two kitchen slide buttons here. Montana uses a fairly generic control panel. As you can see, some blank spots here for things that you don't have. For example, a generator. You do have two gray tanks, one black tank, one freshwater tank, and of course your battery button. We're now going to look at this control panel here for all your holding tanks. Pressing the battery button, we see our battery is full or being currently charged. Fresh water tank, we have some extra water in there so that we can use the water in the trailer. Here we have lights for the awning. You'll notice that that is on so that to remind you that you've left it on. Then you have a porch light. You have a large light on the side of the unit, just another extra light for you. And then your primary living room lights, which turns off the main lights in the unit. Water pump switch is here. And these are the two switches for your hot water tank we talked about outside. You can use it on electric or gas or both. You get a significant recovery if you run both at the same time. If the gas fails, there's a little light here that will tell you that it has not lit. If that does happen, the best thing to do is to turn it off, wait about 30 seconds for the computer to reset, and then try again. Also might want to check to make sure that your propane is in fact turned on. A great way of finding that out for sure is to go to your stove, especially after refilling your tanks. This gets the gas flowing into your trailer. So we can turn your element to light, turn the spark, and as you see, the propane lights. That's a great way of getting that propane flow from your tanks to your trailer, and now you know your propane's actually working. It's a great way to do it. Then go to your hot water tank, then start your furnace, etc. To light your stove, it will not light with the sparker. You would use a barbecue lighter. You're going to turn the pilot button. I'm not going to do it now because I don't have a lighter. And you would push and hold with your barbecue lighter down underneath until the pilot light, which would be way in the back, you want to wait till the pilot light lights, holding this until that pilot is well established. It might take about 20 seconds, and once that's done, you turn it to the into the burner mode, you'll see your burner ignite. If that fails, you'll just need to start over. Nothing wrong with that. It's very common to have to do it once or twice. Now, the pilot is not something that's designed to be left on all the time. You light it each time you want to use the oven. Microwave is pretty straightforward. It works like a home microwave. Your light is here for above your stove, and your vent for exhausting is above the stove as well in the bottom of the microwave. We can see that the refrigerator is at 34 degrees, so it's nice and cold. We've had it on so you can see that it's functioning properly. To operate it, you have 3 buttons here. I have it in the auto mode currently, which is great because then when the computer in the fridge detects the power outside, it turns on to electricity when you power it on. If you were at work and the power went out, it's going to auto switch over to gas, which is awesome. That way you don't have to worry about any food spoilage. Super great way to do it, and very easy for you guys to operate. So we're going to turn that off now so it's ready for travel. We can see that it was functioning properly for you guys. So you have 2 halves. You have a 110 half, which is just like our homes, and you have a 12 volt half, not so dissimilar from our cars. These are primary breakers, and they switch just back and forth just like a home breaker. You have a 50 amp, you have a 50 amp service, so that's your primary breaker. It would kill all 110 power. Over here we have all our small fuses, and there's also a nice little window here so that when the 12 volts fail, you'll see an LED light up telling you that, hey, I should pay attention, something's going on here. Very simple, good idea to have some spare fuses in the trailer, just on the off chance that you need one, and the little tool to pull them out because they can be pretty tight to grab. And here we have what we call a max fan. So we press the button to open it. You can see the vent opens. There is a cover over it, so you can probably leave it open most of the time other than the most horrid weather. Press the on button, and as we can see, fan is going very, very quiet. It's a really nice fan. It will move a tremendous amount of air in your trailer. It's a great alternative to running the air conditioning. Turning it off, press the power off button. This big switch here we didn't cover. That is your ceiling fan. You can see that going round and round. That's another great way of circulating air in your trailer. Here we have an assortment of light switches for around the trailer. And here we have your thermostat, which does your air conditioner and your furnace. So the first thing, we press the button, it wakes it up. Hit it again, we see auto, which is the fan mode. Then we have a snowflake for air conditioner. And then we have the furnace mode for the furnace. Right, and if you want to adjust the temperature, that's done here and here. And the furnace will auto light. I can hear it starting to kick in as we speak. Putting it away, again we hit it one more time, we see the little word off at the bottom, and after a moment or two it'll put itself to sleep, and then after another minute the furnace will actually shut down, and then it won't come on again while you're not there. We're going to look at the bottom here, we've got a propane/carbon monoxide detector. Now that is hardwired into your trailer onto your main 12 volt coach battery. If for some reason your battery was really low and you're offshore power, you're going to hear that thing chirp at you a little bit, just telling you that your battery was low. But you're living in it, so you're on shore power, so that's probably not going to be an issue. If it does start to go off, what you should do is just strictly exit the trailer, go to the front, close off your propane, wait for the beep to stop. Then you can come back in and see if there's something obvious that was left on. Possibly an element was turned on the stove as an example. If everything seems good, you can turn the propane back on, start your life again, and if it doesn't go off, it was just an anomaly. If it goes off again immediately, again, repeat that process, turn off the propane, call your local Arbutus, one of the 5 locations, you're good to go. Over here we have the fireplace. Press the button, beautiful accent. Button over here is for temperature. Button here is to dim down to the setting you like. Again, powering it off, very simple. TV and stereo, pretty straightforward. Your recliners, you've got lots of individual lights for your eating area. The switches are here, over the couch, over the eating area. I can open the sink, show you that our water system is currently turned on. So we have water functioning. We're running on the internal tank using the water pump. You may be able to hear that, maybe not. Excellent. Above our head, we'll see the regular household smoke detector, 9-volt battery in that. So you'll want to check that once or twice a year to replace that 9-volt battery to make sure that the smoke detector can do its job for you. Toilet. You have foot flush. It is a porcelain toilet. You press a little for water, all the way down for the trap to open. Flushes your toilet. Light switch beside me. This we want to look at. We have our GFI. Any outlets that are near water or on the outside will be tied to this GFI. This is your reset, just like a GFI would be in a household bathroom. If it trips, you press it here. If this doesn't fix the problem, then you would check the breaker in your control panel. You have another vent in your ceiling. This one is manual. So you turn the crank to open it, and then a manual switch to turn it on. Very straightforward. Again, it has a cover on it, so you would be able to leave it open most of the time and in the inclement weather, which is nice. Light switch on the wall. You have a secondary thermostat here. This is for the secondary air conditioner, not for your furnace. Functionality is the same, you just won't find furnace settings in there. So you'll have to make sure that wherever you guys are putting this trailer, that you do have a full 50 amp service and not a 30 amp service hooked up. That'd be recommended. The trailer will function on 30 if you guys aren't installing a 50. You just won't be able to use both air conditioners at the same time. That's important to know. Your bed is out because the slide is out, so you've got lots of room in here. You have latches here to get into your closet, and I see a washer dryer unit in there, which is nice. You still got tons of room for your clothes. Awesomely fitted out unit that you guys have got. So one last thing to show you here. Your Arbutus pouch here contains all the manuals for the unit. You'll have one for the main unit, and you will have separate manuals for each appliance. So they're by manufacturer, so dedicated manuals there. Also, you'll find remote controls and any accessories that were included with the trailer that the previous owner left behind for you guys. In here, we have a nice little folder. We have a generic manual here, which goes through basically a written version of the walkthrough that we're doing right now. We also have some little leaflets here on moisture control, outfitting your trailer, doing a moisture control, and also how to winterize your trailer in writing. However, YouTube nowadays is probably a little handier. Here we have your keys for your unit, and we do have a checklist here and a little signature that we get from you when you actually come to pick the unit up, just saying that you understand the basic operation of your unit. You will find all these accessories available at 5 different Arbutus locations on the island. Most of them are recommended for your enjoyment of your unit, and some of them are recommended for maintenance of your unit. They do not come with it, but they are a good idea to have some or all of these to take care of your trailer in the best way possible.